Passion is in all great searches and is necessary to all creative endeavors.
Creativity is allowing yourself to make mistakes. Art is knowing which ones to keep.
Hey, welcome to the Street Shots Photography Podcast. This is Antonio.
And this is Ward.
And this is episode 246 for the middle of January 2026. Also, the area code for Barbados, the island nation in the Caribbean, and as part of the North American Numbering Plan, the NAMP.
Which means you can dial 1+. So 1246 will get you
1246.
Barbados.
Yes, we'll get you Barbados. So anybody in Barbados, well, I don't know anybody to call in Barbados. So if anybody wants me to call them, they can drop us a phone number and we'll call them for some reason. And if you guys want to call us and make crank calls, that's fine too. I'm good with that. But cool. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Its nickname is BIM, B-I-M. As 246 spells out BIM on a keypad. I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay.
BIM.
I don't know.
I don't think it means anything.
An acronym for something Barbadian, maybe?
Bim Bim Bop? Bim 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 Bop?
Bim Bim. Maybe.
Bim Bim Bop? Yeah, it's good food. So, how was your New Year's?
It was quiet.
Quiet?
If I remember correctly, I think I slept through midnight. Actually, that's not true. We were at a friend's house and we retired early. So I think I was maybe falling asleep, old people, you do what you can.
When you go to a party and we're older, maybe we should put on the TV for midnight happening an hour.
Oh, we did that.
Time zone.
We actually did that.
So like you watched it.
Yeah,
in
we
Chicago
did the Eastern
or
time zone, the Central time zone, then we went home.
Oh, okay. So you've made it through New Year's. That's actually
we made
I
it
just
through
thought about
somebody's
that.
New Year's. Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't even think about that. Then you're celebrating New Year's at 11 p.m. and then fine, you get to go to bed. No problem. Watch the ball drop in New York. Yeah, something. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we were my lady friend. By the way, she says hi.
Hi, lady friend.
She's gonna listen to this and she goes, "Can you squeeze in at least 3 lady friends into the show?"
I thought she hated that expression.
She does hate it, but now it's become a thing, right?
Okay, well, good. I wore her down on that one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what she's gonna call you.
Well, whatever she wants, as long as it's not late for dinner, as they say.
Okay. Anyway, we were picking up her daughter. Her daughter was flying in from Las Vegas from the Huskers bowl game in Las Vegas, which they did do so well. They lost, but they were flying all the kids back to the band and the flag line. They're flying them back to Lincoln Airport, and then from the airport they're going to the school to drop everybody off. So we had to wait for her to text us for us to then go pick her up, and they're literally flying in at midnight or just before midnight. So midnight was kind of spent waiting for a text saying I'm ready to be picked up. But before that, we spent some time at a friend's house in a bonfire outside, which made me smell like a bonfire for a couple of days.
Bonfire. Like a nice campfire kind of smoke, or
yes,
like
the campfire
a house
smoke.
fires kind of smoke?
No, it was yes, it did not smell like a firefighter with those bad fire smells. This was the good fire smell. This smelled like you would, like I was being smoked for a rotisserie or something.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. I was like, this is making me hungry. This smoke smell.
Smoked Antonio. I think that's a Cuban delicacy, if I remember correctly.
Oh my gosh. Let's not go there.
Sorry.
Stop.
I'm just making stuff up.
You are making stuff up.
It's my near beer that I'm drinking.
Oh, what are you drinking?
Yes. I'm drinking, it's called Athletic Brewing Company Upside Down Blonde 0%. So it's fine. It's I'm like they say, I'm halfway through the can and I'm like half sober now. So
Okay.
Can only go uphill from there.
Only go uphill. Mine is a Boulevard Brewing Company, unfiltered wheat beer, 4.4% alcohol. But I ate dinner before
Okay,
we
so
started,
you're good.
so I think I'm good. But my lady friend's daughter said, "You're going to drink at work," and I was like, I guess so. I mean, I don't really consider this work, but maybe it is.
No,
Yeah.
she only knew. It's just
Yeah.
two guys talking. Yeah.
Yeah. But I noticed, like, we're loosening up our restrictions. I mean, we only did the beers once before. We did it last episode. Now we're doing it again, and nobody seems to mind. I'm not sounding any more stupid than I usually sound. I don't sound stupid.
Me neither.
No. Yeah, but it's tasty, and it doesn't. Yeah. It kind of fits the vibe for a Monday night. We're recording this on a Monday night, so you got to have some kind of fun on a Monday.
Exactly.
So what else is happening? Did you get any? Did we talk? When did we last talk? We had already passed Christmas, right? So we already talked about our Christmas presents, right? So yeah. Okay, so we haven't got any presents to talk about.
Not really,
but
it's I got everything I need. Like, I don't know. We're talking about when we weren't talking about resolutions because neither of us do them, but I was talking about what to look forward to in 2026, and I'd said that less emphasis on gear and more on the artistic thing, being more arty.
Excuse me, yeah.
And
well, just being more creative, I think, was for me, like actually using all this crap that I've got and putting it to some use,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got a couple things to talk about in that regard. But what was I going to say? Oh, shuckles! I totally forgot. I was like, I haven't been paying attention to any photography news. Just sort of been wrapped up in, the end of the holiday stuff and just taking care of things like, I had to buy a new used car, and a few other things. Domestic stuff, right? Things that take your attention away from. Take my attention away from other things. But this is January, so we're just getting started. I don't have a problem with taking a little bit of time to ramp up. So, and as a warning, this might be a warning for anybody who's allergic to cats.
Allergic to cats through your earbuds.
Through my earbuds, yeah. We're gonna have an Opie join us tonight because he's locked in the room with me. This is where I feed him. And if I locked him out, he would have been screaming outside the door, so we would have heard him. So he's just going to sort of sit on my keyboard, and if he talks, well, then that's just him being part of the show. I'll have to get a release from him somehow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, what else? No, not much. I mean, it's already we're recording on January 12th, right? So. Mm-hmm. It's like it's already 2 weeks in, and it seems like there's a lot of stuff to process in the world, So
I'll
talk about a few things in that regard, but otherwise, well, not much else.
Cool. Well, should we just get into it? What
let's get into it. Well, you've got some fun stuff to talk about because what did you get in the mail?
Yeah. So what I did, and we were talking about it last time, was that I had been inspired by my ChatGPT AI client chatbot. Give me some ideas on how to separate my pictures out in such a way that I could create zines from the different aspects of the work that I did, both in the Calgary Stampede and Japan. So I did go ahead and I started the layout, and I was most of the way actually through the layout when we had done the show, and I placed an order for a zine, a 36-page zine, I think last Monday, and it was, or Tuesday, I placed an order for it, and it arrived last Friday, and
wow,
it was
within
really
the same
quick
week?
turnaround. Within the
same week?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
wait, they printed it and they dried it and they bound it and all that stuff?
And they cut it and they
and
bound
they shipped it,
and
all
they shipped
within
it.
3 days.
Yeah, 3 days. So I'm very
That's-
happy with it.
okay, that's crazy.
I've had a couple of sales, including you. So
Yeah.
our friend Mac ordered the very first one, and thank him very much, and thank you very much for your order.
Mm-hmm.
I have to figure. Well, you and I will figure out, or I'll figure out the what the ramifications are because the trade relationship between Canada and the U.S. has changed a little bit. There may be some extra costs incurred by my American customers, but I'll work all that out. And if you're interested in buying it on the site, it'll be very clear about what the shipping charges are, whether there needs to be an extra duty or tariff applied to your purchase. So,
and for now,
just wanted to let you know.
We'll put a link in the show notes, but people can just go to your website, which is what, rosin.ca.
Rosin.ca.
Right?
Yeah, and I'm hawking it on the front page. So
yeah,
and there's a link on that front page where you can just buy from there.
Yeah.
So
you showed us, or through our unusual collective Discord, the pictures that you've got on your website, the sample as you flipping through the book, and wow,
yeah, this looks pretty good.
Wow,
doesn't it?
It looks.
Yeah.
You've got to be really happy about this.
I am. It exceeded my expectations. In fact, I'm more impressed with the print quality than I was with the rodeo pictures that Mark and I did. Like, it really, with my weird processing, my weird kind of Japanese-esque homage, high contrast, inky blacks and blurry and motion camera, in-camera motion kind of effects that I'm doing, and some of the mid-tones that are pretty rich. And man, there was no having to compensate to make it lighter, because of ink and dry down and that sort of thing. The tones that appeared on the press-ready pages, I submitted PDFs. You submit PDFs to this particular service. It preserved all of them. And I'm very, very happy with it. I'm really over the moon about it. It's really inspired me. Well, the chatbot initially inspired me. I got in the zone, which I need to do. I need a limitation, right? Like I was saying last time. And I found that I lived with the layout for 3 or 4 days. I'm like, that picture doesn't work as well. We'll pick this one and so on. And
did you do it all? Did you do it all on computer, like the layout, or did you print stuff out?
I did it all on an application called Affinity, which is now free. It's recently been made free, and they have like a Lightroom competitor. They have like a Photoshop component, and they also have a layout component. It's all in one app. Those are just workspaces. So it's very broad. The tool's really broad. I'm like, where am I? And you can switch the layout, or whatever, not the layout. You can switch the workspace that you're in. It's like a tab inside the same tool. So you're composing something in the layout, and it has built-in templates for, full bleed pages, which means there's no borders or anything around the pictures. In this zine, my pictures go right to the edge, top, bottom, left, right into the gutter and right out to the edge of the book. So the whole book is full bleed.
Oh, cool. How much did you lose in the bleed? Like, did you have to make some
1/8 of an inch?
Edges
so
up,
it was not
1/8
of an inch, and the book is 6 inches by 9 inches. So not really a problem, because quite a few of my pictures are crops anyway. So it was not a problem. And when I did, because I sometimes like to cram details into the top corner, usually the top left corner of an image, if it's one of my tropes, is to have stuff in the top left corner. Sometimes you trimmed off a little bit of somebody's head or whatever, but it doesn't take away at all from the image, I don't think. And if it's your first time looking at it, you wouldn't know. It's all good. So very happy with it. And I know now, not that I would really worry about it shooting in the street anyway. But if I'm shooting for a full bleed book, then I can keep that in mind and be a little bit further away, which I guess is fine. But I'm very, very happy with it.
tell me or tell us how the experience was different than doing the book with Mark, because this case you're doing it by yourself. You weren't really, didn't seem like you were eliciting any feedback from those of us in the Unusual Collective. So you did this sort of in your own little bubble,
Yeah.
and obviously in the other book you're working with Mark, and of course because he had pictures in it, so it's obviously two people job. So besides that obvious difference, what else did you experience?
Well, I'll talk about the experience of making the book with Mark too. As the older I get, the more I do some kind of revisionist history on it. I'm remembering things that maybe they didn't happen with it. But one thing I do remember was that Mark took the lead in terms of what pairs made sense. I was more about the flow of the book, and he was about the individual pairs and which pictures were stronger and which were weaker. That book was really more aimed, I think, at the audience. We had our own style, but we're really thinking about, and I remember saying even before, as we were shooting, we wanted a feeling of, if you had been to that rodeo before, this would remind you of it. And if you hadn't, you will have a good idea of what it might be like to be there. It was like it needed to be accessible. So there was like two crowds there. For this book, it's called Gaijin, which is a Japanese sort of semi-pejorative term for foreigner. It just means foreigner. It was all internal. It was I wanted to make it sort of like a dream kind of thing. Mm. And maybe that explains why I didn't really solicit any kind of feedback from you guys, because once I had that kind of chatbot mantra in my head, then I started really with throwing down ideas of what I could do, and I could make the book a story from beginning to end. You don't have to appreciate the book that way, but if you do start at the beginning and go through it, there's a rhythm to it and a visual back and forth that happens. That I want to happen, but you don't have to do that. You can just go through it and make it, interesting pictures. And I made it, and sort of in the Ralph Gibson thing, I tried to, in many cases, have a catch and throw between the pages that are facing each other. So there's some relationship between the pages that face each other. And in other cases, I have one picture that covers both spreads and is something dynamic or interesting or poetic that I wanted to cover at that moment. So the book goes through a few stages, and it's you could call it a booklet. It's 36 pages plus the covers. So it's a relatively short little tome, but it's I think it really kind of encapsulates, I think, those feelings I had when I was there in mostly the first week. So most of the pictures were taken the first week. With some at the very end when I was kind of saying goodbye to thinking that I would be having to leave, and kind of looking back. And there are a few pictures from Osaka, which were late in the trip, that are in there. So it was, it was trying to create an art object instead of a book. It was a completely different mindset, and there was no having to try and explain. Like, there's no text in it. It's all just pictures.
When you said that as an art object, never really thought about that. You as photographers, part of our art objects are like prints. Like, that's bringing our work into the real world, and in a way, that's what the zine is as well. It's like, it's something to be coveted for itself, right? Not just for the content, but the object itself. You've treated it, made it an object of beauty. Because what I've seen when you've held it up, I was like, I really want to touch this. I want to hold this thing. It looks really nice. The cover is really nice, and you've got that opening. Your covers also have pictures on the inside, so you go right into the Yeah. So it feels like you just dive right into this. There's no, I don't know. There's no pretext or anything like that in this, which to me really says something about it being an object.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so I can't wait to get a copy of it for myself. And I'm very curious what you're going to do for the next volumes, because it seems like you've got.
Yeah, I have an idea for the next one, and I have maybe 10 pictures I think might go into the next volume. So I need to make another trip. So.
Well, okay.
Buy my book so I can pay for another ticket.
Pay for another trip. So the next one is going to be on Japan as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be that next bucket. Remember last show I was talking about this book is about distance. The next book will be about disconnection, faltering, awkward moments, those sorts of things.
Okay.
That's a little deeper, a little grittier.
Your next trip is when? Remind me.
Hoping November. I got to call my sister tonight.
Okay.
And we're going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming November.
Do you have any plans for making another zine that's not Japan? I mean, using your same
Yes,
process?
I think I will do some of my Calgary Stampede Midway pictures.
Okay.
They will work in this form. Now, this because I'm calling it an homage to Japanese street scenes. It's in portrait format. I think my Stampede picture is going to be landscape format. So it'll be, I can use the horizontal aspect of what I'm shooting. And if you see my Stampede pictures in Instagram, they're almost always square, and that suits the format of Instagram fine. But there are a lot of pictures that I think would work fine if I restored them to their horizontal form, and they'll have a different feel to them. Yeah. I haven't really dug that deep in it, and that project will also be in color, where this particular zine is in black and white. And like I said, it's because it's a tribute to Japanese street zines. It's kind of gritty and high contrast and that sort of thing. So,
will you do the same chatbot kind of back and forth thing that you did?
It did give me some ideas of kind of a general idea of the
already
about me being part of it, to being accepted, me being part of the scenery there, and that it wasn't artistically dangerous, which is fine, because I think the Stampede Midway pictures, like the rodeo book, I want there to be some recognition, and the audience for that, I think, might be different than this. I mean, I could go back through my Lightroom and make it a little bit more arty and abstract. But I think with just people and portraits on the Stampede grounds, I don't know that I'm looking for that edginess, and I really don't think I have too many pictures that have it. So, but yeah, I think this spring I could probably do another book.
It's interesting. Do you when you're going through your pictures, like say the Stampede or Japan, do you, other than like really bad technical failures or whatever, it's like obviously pictures that wouldn't work, do you keep your pictures that are like one might reject, like just in case
I don't delete anything out of the Lightroom catalog really at all.
Yeah.
And I did go back to the well a couple of times for pictures that I sort of remember and wondering if they were going to work in these pairings that I was talking about. And so in 3 cases, I actually did go back and pick different pictures that worked kind of beyond my expectation. And that was another thing too, when I was doing this one there, I remember I was saying when the ChatGPT was telling me something about, the question is not how do you photograph Japan better, it's how do you photograph distance wherever you are, remember? And I was like, okay, so I'm not thinking as much about the subject matter in the individual pictures as I am who I am or what I am in the case of Japan, what am I in this space? And so that helped pick pictures that I would not have chosen before, where I was trying to find something that's more aesthetically on the nose or more pleasing or more something that I thought somebody else would like. This way, it's just all kind of trying to trying to depict my psyche, if you want to put it that way. That's just all lofty psychological mumbo jumbo, but I really felt like I really felt like this is sort of what I was doing, and that the pictures that went together kind of needed to be together, kind of thing. And I think we had that feeling with the rodeo book that Mark and I did too. Once they were together, it's like these are not coming apart. So
yeah, but when you're going through your pictures, and you might be initially, maybe when you first put them into Lightroom and you haven't thought of a zine yet, you're looking at the individual pictures one by one, thinking, okay, this stands on its own, this stands on its own, this is great. Now you're putting a zine together, and now you're pairing pictures, which may or may not be great on their own, but together create something new. But even in the case of perhaps undeleted pictures, let's call them that, because I wouldn't want to call them rejected pictures. Let's just say undeleted pictures that don't stand on their own suddenly can find a place next to another picture that maybe does stand on its own, or two pictures that never stood on their own before then find a connection. So you're making an argument for, don't get rid of those pictures that are marginal unless you've got a certain standard that you want to keep, or blah, blah, blah. But, in the practical sense, it doesn't really cost anything to keep those pictures. And if you needed to keep them out of your main library, there's ways of filtering them out. But if they're there in the background, you're able to tap into this wealth of I don't know, like almost like mortar for bricks, like stuff that will make things fit together. And if you didn't have that mortar, you wouldn't be able to do it. So good call for not going and deleting all your photographs, or I mean, for me, I like to have access to all my pictures in Lightroom. I've said this a billion times. My Lightroom library is, 1 million plus. I can go and find all my pictures since I've been taking digital pictures. And again, I don't delete pictures. I don't do it for the same reason you do. I just, in a sense, like, it takes too much time for me to delete pictures. And why should I bother? Right.
Yeah.
I'm not getting paid for it. So I keep them, but then to be able to go through them, over time and say, oh, that one and this one, like, the game of concentration, you start putting those things together. So it sounds like that. Am I sort of hitting what the experience you had, or in a way?
Yeah. And I think, again, that was a lesson that we learned from the rodeo book was, those hundreds of pictures we had on that boardroom table in downtown Calgary, and going, they started calling to each other, the images. And I get why that's good to make a bunch of prints and lay them out. I didn't do that here. I have a folder on my laptop, and I was just looking at the thumbnails and going, okay, it's only going to be 40, the photo book's only going to be about 40 images. So I think I can figure out from there which ones I really want to have in there and do my best. And before I knew it, I had 30 of them, and that was pretty much the core of what I wanted. Those images that I did post on Instagram, or did post, whatever, somewhere on social media that really resonated with me. Maybe they resonated with the audience. I don't know. I mean, some ones that I thought would be great, I would get more likes for than I didn't, and vice versa. So that was never really a gauge for me. But when it came to the book, like, I had a feeling like because it's full bleed, and because I'm pretty close to the subjects, there's almost like a bit of a claustrophobic thing going on, and it helped with the atmosphere of the book. And being in a Japanese city, you are packed together, and the streets are busy, and so I wanted all of that kind of feeling to go into the book. And it wasn't hard, at least initially, to get that first 3/4 of it in there, and then it was sequencing after that. There's the ebb and flow of, the opening spread is, I won't say much more, but I'll just say the opening spread after you open the cover is I put the iPhone up against the glass of the bus. It was already after dark. We just got off the plane, and we're driving an hour and 15 minutes from Narita Airport to Tokyo Station. So I was going to meet my daughter and her boyfriend. And you're kind of in this stupor, this kind of jet lag. You've been on the plane for 9 hours, whatever. And I just plastered the phone onto the glass of the bus and then started taking pictures. So you get this horizontal, bright white horizontal line of the line on the expressway, and then the Armco, so the guardrail. And then off in the distance, you could see a farm that was in sharp focus because it was so far away, and everything else is blurred, and the trees were driving past trees, and that's all sweeping by, and it's kind of vignetted, which I think was natural. I don't think I vignetted very much in post. So it has this kind of going down the motorway, like, kind of drunk from and jet lagged, and I just arrived, and we're zooming down the road, and we have no idea where we're going. It's fast and that sort of thing. And so it was like this entry, like, okay, I've arrived and I'm rolling down the expressway, not really knowing what's going on, but seeing these farms and buildings in the distance. Like, it was very evocative. So I'm sort of like, I'm here. So that's how the book starts.
Yeah. Your first few days there, you were still jet lagged, do you think?
No, not at all.
Oh, no, not at all. Okay.
Just tired from the, no. And I didn't take me very long at all to adapt. When I came back, I had, for the first week, I was waking up at 3 a.m, wide awake, but I didn't. I didn't really have a kind of a traumatic jet lag kind of.
I was just wondering if there's
issue.
any physiological, you talk about this coming off the plane and being jet lag drunk, and not encouraging people to do things, but there is something about being in a state like that where I think you end up being more present in some way, and you're not thinking because you're not able to put coherent thoughts together. And I wonder what that means to create in that state when you're in a jet lag state, or you're overly tired. And I'm just curious about that. And you're picking up the phone, your inhibitions are there, you're not thinking about the technical part, you're just thinking, well, this could be kind of fun,
Yeah, well, I mean, I went there to visit my daughter, for sure. But she's like her dad. She's like, what are we doing? Are we, what? So it doesn't matter what country we're in. It's sort of, we're not going to spend a lot of time together, probably. Is that okay? That's fine. I'll come to your house. It's the kind of family we are, it's just like, we'll run out of conversation in the first hour, that sort of thing. And that's not bad. I mean, I love her. She's my daughter, but she's like me that way. It's just sort of like, just see, test her, see how she's feeling. And if she has, if she was on the, she just decided to work another year and so on. And so, she wanted to stay there another year. And so it was like, there wasn't, the whole idea of going there for me primarily was to photograph. And so when I got off the plane and on the bus, and then I see the stuff and the stuff go by on the bus, and there's this kind of, it's only 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but in March it's dark there already, sort of like it is here. And it felt like it was 2 a.m, which maybe it was right. Back at home, right? Yeah, so that was like, I want to do something, and then I saw the stuff go by, and the iPhone would do those 3-second exposures. So I was just doing that. I did, I don't know, maybe 10 of them. And there was one that was kind of open that kind of showed this buildings in the distance with lights and stuff. And it was just like, it pretty much perfectly, for me, visually encapsulated the feeling of rolling along in this strange place. These are your first glimpses of the countryside, zooming along there for that, whatever it is, 85 minutes or however long it took to get to Tokyo Station.
What your next Substack article will be about.
Yeah.
Whenever.
Yeah. Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. Whenever that is, no, that's fine. You're welcome to take a shot at me. That's all right. It's
I
all
know.
fine.
Well,
But
good. I
well,
mean,
my problem is I need to be inspired, and right now I am. So let's strike while the iron is hot, right?
yeah.
But
Get that energy going.
anyway,
Well, cool. Thanks for all that. That's I'm gonna you've inspired me. I'm looking at the physical copy that you're showing and realizing that I haven't fixed our zine yet. I wanted to move our zine into that format, the smaller format that we did, which means it's going to have to be sort of reworked, which means I have to find our old zine because I don't know where I put it when I packed up. I think I know where it is. Hopefully it's in my Elizabeth Lunan Memorial Library. I think it should be there, but I would want to do it in that smaller format too, just because I think that's a better. It feels like it's more zine-like, but the service that you use, I would want to use it. But anyway, I see you doing this and it's inspiring me to like think, well, shoot, I would like to do something with the pictures I've been taking since I've moved here, or whatever direction I go in. I mean, just to fire something off again, because I'm not going to reprint, or at least not for the moment, reprint the 11218 ones because I'm no longer in Brooklyn, so I can't really advocate for them too much. Although I like them, and I probably should print them again, or maybe redo them, maybe make them into one. I don't know, into one zine. Yeah. So anyway, if you're listening to this, if you're listening to the show, I encourage you to go to Ward's site and buy a copy for the whole family. Buy one each for everybody. So he'll sell them out, but.
I have no problem with doing another printing if they should sell out. So, and the book's called Gaijin. It's Gaijin, which means foreigner. And then the subtitle is A Tourist's Brief Urban Fever Dream of Japan. It's kind of wordy, but that's the only text I'm giving you. So it's just sort of, trying to set an expectation for you as you go through the book.
Yeah, so I like that. And we should do another one too. I mean, we haven't really talked about that lately, and I know we did our first one, and I thought that was really cool, and I like the way it turned out, and I like the process that we went through to make it. That was a lot of fun. So anyway, but okay, well then, Happy New Year on your zine. Congratulations on your zine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm proud and I'm happy. What about you, my friend? I understand you've been up to some.
Did a couple of things. Yeah.
Did you get a certain accreditation? Is that what happened?
Let's say we're just ramping up the new year, right? So there's a couple of things going on. First, let's talk about. I have decided to go for my drone pilot license, and I signed up, or actually, Angie had. My lady friend. that's twice I squeezed it in there. Angie, forgive me. But you said I could squeeze it into the show. She had pointed out a class that would help get us set to take the FAA test for drone pilot license. So I was at the University of Nebraska. It was a 2-day class. It was all day, both days, and so I decided it was $200. So it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't bad for 2 full days of instruction and basically learning what I'll need to learn to take the test so that I can pass it. And it's basically going for a commercial. Well, I guess a drone license doesn't mean I'm a commercial drone pilot, but it means I can fly and take imagery and film. It's funny to think about images. I wasn't even thinking about images, but I guess images count. Anything that you do from a drone that makes money, or incidentally makes money too, you need to have a commercial license, you need to have a pilot license to otherwise you could get in trouble. And I've got 2 drones, believe it or not. One I bought way back when. It was the DJI Mini 4K, right? So it was like a starter drone, but I bought it when I was back in New York, and I couldn't fly it anywhere. I mean,
Right.
I could have gone to maybe Coney Island and flew it, but I think I would probably still be under some. Although I'm flying it recreationally, so I probably could have flown it someplace there, when it wasn't a beach day, when there was
Right.
no people there. But anyway, I never do it. I never took it out of the box. And then relatively recently, with all this DJI nonsense going on with the government and parts new drones being banned in the United States, and don't get me started on all this stuff. I'll get ramped up pretty quickly. I thought, well, if I'm going to go for a pilot license, then I should have a drone that at least has some professional capabilities, not a full size one, but so I got another one in sort of a panic buy because, there was this talk about shutting it down
Being
and
bricked. Yeah.
being bricked, but that's basically for new drones. So any new models that are coming in. But if that's the case, then everybody's going to go and buy the current stock. The way I might be wrong in this, but I read a recent news report that makes me think the interpretation of this is that new models need to be certified with the FCC. And by the way, it's the FCC that's making the ruling, not the FAA. It has to do with their transmission and the frequencies they use or whatever. Anything that's using radio has to be regulated by the FCC, and there has to be some sort of audit on them. And basically, I think the FCC or the government is saying that DJI is not providing this information or hasn't provided it, and therefore could be a threat to national security. I have opinions about that, and kind of middle fingers that haven't been used towards a certain direction, if I may say, because anyway, I'm not going to get started. That being said, I do think, and I could be wrong, and someone who's listening to the show might be able to double check this because I just haven't done it. But I'm wondering if that means that DJI could still make and manufacture and sell and import models that have already been certified. So like they might not be able to make a new drone with new features and submit it to the United States, but like the second one I bought was the DJI Mini 5 Pro. So it's got a little bit of a larger sensor. It's still one of these drones that's under 250 grams in its native outfit configuration. So I don't have to register it. And it has a decent sensor and a decent camera. So it could be used for some, incidental money-making things that's maybe not needing, broadcast quality, although it shoots in 4K. Anyway, I'm also not necessarily wanting to use it to do video. That's a money-making thing, but I thought I really want to use it for photography. Blah, blah, blah. I'll get to that in a minute. Mm-hmm. So I took the class. The guy who was teaching it was really good. It's definitely a drone geek. The first day, the weather was terrible. The second day, we did go out to fly a couple things. I learned all this stuff about how to read an aeronautical weather report.
Oh, cool.
Which was, I'm looking at the string of letters and numbers, and he taught us how to read it, and I can read it just fine. There's parts of it that I don't know yet because he said it's not necessarily for you to know it for the test. But
it's called MCAS? Is the pilots call it MCAS? Is that what that is?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I can read that now. And then also the aeronautical maps that were made way back when with all the different airspaces and the Class A and Class B, Anyway, I kind of know all those, right?
Cool.
Which is kind of cool. I was like, I could learn this stuff. Anyway, so all the stuff that you need to learn just so you can fly it, right? And it makes sense. Like after I'm getting through it, I was like, oh, okay, I understand why you might need to know all this stuff. It's very useful. And their FAA is really all about extreme safety. Like you don't want these things dropping out of the sky. You don't want them hitting other airplanes or helicopters. There's a million reasons why you want to have ultra safe things, and I get it. So like I don't really have a problem with learning about this stuff. The 2 days are up. We get a chance to do flying. One is a POV drone, a racing drone. So I got to put on this headset. And the other one was just like a Mavic Pro 3 or something like that. So 3 times the size of the ones I've got, but as easy to fly as anything, because I'm finding them very easy to fly. The headset one got me dizzy.
Right, I can imagine that.
It was weird being in this different viewpoint, but it was fun. I could see you playing with it. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So we did get to he put together a test based on questions that he knew would be in the test, like the type of questions. He doesn't know what questions specifically. And he put it together 30, the test is 60 questions, and you have to get a score of 70%. And then, you know what he said? He said, what do you call a person who takes the test and gets a 70%? And everyone said, what? He called him a pilot. Because you passed the test. So he put together a 30-question test, and instead of 2 hours, we had 1 hour to do it. And you get a book to refer to, because there's some questions that refer to figures and maps in this book. And so I took it, and I was done in like a half an hour. So I was faster than I thought, and I was able to get through a lot of it. And when I tallied up my score, I got a 90%.
Oh, cool.
So I was like, okay, that's great. And then the way he had the test set up is that you could redo the questions that you failed. So you can, so you can make sure you get 100% and get the badge. So I said, let me show you, leave it at 90% or should I get 100? I said, I'll do 100%. Because then we got a little badge and stuff.
Okay.
So I think one of the things that it did was boost my confidence about flying a drone. Like before, I was just playing with it, like even here in the backyard or just up on the street or something like that. And I felt a little nervous about it. Afterwards, even just the way he was describing things, like, if you go through and make sure you check the specs on the drone and blah, 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 and the idea is that you're the pilot in charge, the PIC, and you need to be able to control your aircraft and understand its capabilities. And like once I figured that out, once I knew that, I felt more confident flying this weird little thing that to me is an amazing feat of engineering because when you start to understand what it has to do just to hover or just to go left or right, it's like, holy crap, that's an amazing thing. That being said, but before I took the class, we took my lady friend, that's the third use of it, and I, sorry.
I have a feeling you're going to have welts on you when she
I know, I probably have welts, but I only did it 3 times, so that's it. I'm not going to do any more. Anyway, we took a trip out to an area called, and I don't know it off the top of my head, and I really don't want to search for it, but it was like a prairie Audubon area. It's like a wildlife. I don't know. It's a wildlife area. I'm going to get all this wrong.
Wildlife preserve kind of thing.
It's not quite a preserve because I don't think I would be allowed to fly over preserve. It's just like an open space, like a park. But it's a prairie, and there's paths on it, and there's a lake, and you can go there. They had a bird hide, on this lake that was already pre-cut holes in it. So if you wanted to go there with your camera, you could go and set up on a little lake and photograph the birds and stuff. And I flew there. Oh, first of all, we went to this place. You know what? Shoot, I got to figure out what it's called. Hang on. Because I don't want to go through life not knowing what this place is called or not letting people understand what it's for. Because it's important. We got to, you have to have it. Hang on a second. I'm going to take a little bit of time here and look at because I put it all on Lightroom. So it should take me just another second or two.
You need some music or something to play.
We need some music. Yeah. Well, I did fly it over the house. Here we go. So I know I captioned this thing. So this is okay. So the Spring Creek Prairie Audubon Center, right? So picture like Nebraskan landscape, like some plains and grass and trees, but not a lot of trees.
And not wetland. It's not like where the ducks land or whatever.
No, but there's some ponds there. I would call them ponds, not lakes. There's some ponds. There could be birds there. But there's a lot of grass and tall grass things. And, there's ruts where the, colonists, the wheels of their caravans came
wagons.
through or some covered wagons came through. Anyway, so I brought the drone there because it seemed like an appropriate place. I didn't check the requirements, but apparently I probably could have flown there, but I didn't see anything in the rules there that said I couldn't fly. And we went on one of the days, it was a weekend, and it was like the day that here it was like 60 something degrees. No wind. We went out there. First of all, I have never experienced silence like I did there.
Yeah.
No. You don't understand.
No, I do understand.
There
When
was-
you're in
there-
a wheat field and there's no wind and the combines that is 2 miles away.
There was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing. There weren't even, well, when there were no cars going by, like over the hill, there was the road, but like when there were no cars, there were no birds, or there were very few birds, and they were not talking. There was no wind, and I swear I felt like I was in an isolation chamber. I've never experienced silence like that before, and it was awesome and weird. Okay,
Yeah.
so that being said, I wanted to get that through because that was just an experience. If you could, I mean, having come from where I came from, New York, constant sound, even here.
It's coming through your feet. Yeah.
Yeah, but even here, there's like the sound of the furnace going on, and then maybe a car is going by. I mean, it's not bad here. It's actually quite quiet compared to New York. It was literally the opposite, 180 degrees. But it was weird because I was like, I could hear, even like I said, shh, be quiet. I was like, I can't hear a thing. And it was almost like sound, it was like a pressure on my head or something. It was weird. Anyway, so I flew the drone, and I wasn't really into taking videos because I'm going to take videos of like wheat fields or grass fields. Like, who cares? But putting the camera down and finding patterns to photograph, and the smaller drone has got a 12 megapixel camera, so it's not great, but it's not bad. I was taking these pictures straight down, and I was like, wow, and just that point of view, I've never experienced that point of view of being very high to see things that I don't see. And so as a camera, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed looking at the world from that point of view. And then after that, we went to a lake that was closer to the city, but I could still fly over there. It was a bit bigger. It was like a man-made lake. And I flew over there and I did some video of it. And then I took some shots of the sunset, and again, some straight down shots of the water and the jetties that were sticking out in this lake and stuff like that. And I did some processing on them to really bring out some of the colors and textures. And I was like, this is great. So I really, really, really enjoyed the photographic aspects of using these things. I mean, the video part is probably where you can make money. I'm sure the photography part too, because you can take really good pictures. The smaller drone I have is 12 megapixels, and the other one, the newer one, is a 48 megapixel or 50 megapixel. So it's got a bit of it's got a little bit of a larger sensor. And today I went out to a park called Wilderness Park, and I flew it there. This time I did all the legal stuff. Like I went on and did what's called a Lance. There's an app that lets you plug in where you're going to fly, and it will then have information for pilots or air traffic control to know that there will be a drone in this area from this time to this time. So I actually did it this time. I did I checked my regulations, and so even though I'm recreationally flying, it's helpful. You have to actually program in where you're gonna fly. So planes and helicopters know that you're there. Anyway, I was taking some pictures of like waterways through this park and stuff like that, and I just felt this is fun. I like that look. I was more interested in the photography. Anyway, so that being said, I need to do a little more studying because I wasn't quite up on everything that we learned. What was funny in the sample test that I took, the technical questions I got. So all the ones with all the weird map stuff and airspace stuff, even though I had to guess at a couple, but I got all those. There was a couple of like common sense things that I messed up on, which was weird.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So anyway, it helped to boost my confidence in general. Cool. And that being said, like I haven't taken a class in a while, so it was really nice to be in a class environment and have someone teach me for the first time. So I will be doing some studying. I don't want to wait too long because I don't want to forget this stuff. But the test for the pilot is like $175, and it's a 2-hour test this time.
Enough to commit you.
Enough to commit me, and you can take it multiple times. I think you have to wait a certain amount of time, and then you have to take it. And then, anyway, if there's probably people listening to this who have their pilot's license, but it does give me another option to put a potential extra thing in my website to say I could do this kind of photography, and that is what I want to do. So anyway, I did that. That was my other thing. And last but not least, this. I don't want. We got time to talk about it, but I've been sort of skirting this a little bit on the show, and I didn't want to anymore. And this is going to sound like a big deal, but it's not. But this weekend, today's Monday, so on Saturday, there was a protest here at Lincoln, as there was probably in a bunch of other cities in the United States, to protest ICE and what happened to the young mother the week before, Renee Good. And we decided to go to our local protest in front of the federal building in Lincoln. And I brought my cameras this time, and decided to make protest pictures, which I've been doing since I've been here. We've been to a few protests. The previous one, I was dressed up like a lobster in my inflatable lobster outfit. And Angie was dressed up as an anglerfish, and her daughter was dressed up like Grimace, because that was the what was it? The inflatable frog was the sort of the symbol in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you couldn't find inflatable frog outfits because they were all sold out. This was for the No Kings protest. So I had a lobster. And what was funny was that when I was doing that, then there's a clear window on it, but it was in the summer. Yeah. So it was so flippin' hot, and I kept fogging up through that. But I did do a lot of photography through that plasticky window in my I had my X100 and X100 VI, and I was taking shots through it. And it was kind of fun because people could see me taking the camera up, and so they would pose. But there's like this lobster, this inflatable lobster running around. Hang on one sec. My cat, he wants to leave now. Okay, do you want to leave? My guess is that he's got to go to the cat box. I don't want to keep him. Yeah. So anyway, when I was here in April, we went to a protest as well. This was my first trip here before I moved. We went to a protest. I can't remember. It was I don't remember if it was specifically about something, but it was definitely like a No Kings thing. So I don't remember if I took pictures. I don't think I took pictures, but I have been taking pictures. So anyway, this Saturday, I brought 2 cameras with me. Don't kill me, by the way.
Okay.
I had pre-ordered a while back the XE5. I'm sorry I didn't tell you.
That's okay.
You
can have mine. I let mine go, so you can have mine.
I was sort of hinting at it at the last thing about I got to stop this gear acquisition syndrome. By the way, it's a great camera.
I know. I played with it. And I really wanted it, but I don't really need it. So
yeah, I don't need it. I want it. And anyway, so a couple things. First of all, when we were about to go, this was sort of like a last minute thing because it just popped up very fast. I decided to bring 2 cameras, and I thought about this for a minute. And the reason why, I could have done everything with just 1 camera and 1 lens, but I wanted to look the part of a photographer. And this was something I've never really thought about before. And it wasn't trying to show off or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. There was something about, if I went there with 1 camera, I had a feeling, maybe, especially if it was a little point and shoot camera, which might be fine. I wanted to be a documentarian there. I wanted people to look at me and say, he's documenting this. And I thought by having the 2 cameras wrapped around my neck, that would send out a signal, visual signal, that that's what I was.
Yeah.
rather than just a single camera. And I don't know if that made any sense but what it did for me was it also put me in a mindset of being a documentarian. And it's funny because I haven't done that kind of work really in a long time, like serious work. And I wouldn't say I was doing this very seriously because I was really taking pictures of people standing there with signs, which is, all in all, maybe newsworthy, but not terribly interesting. But there is a sort of like a historical thing for it.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I was doing anything. How do I say? I don't know if you can help me out. Like I was doing something significant.
You
important.
You weren't stealing from them. You weren't creeping them out, or you weren't documenting on behalf of the bad guys or anything like that, right?
Right.
Did people like question you at all when you were shooting?
I actually had. I only had. Well, I was aware of it. I'm like walking around, and I'm thinking like I didn't have a sign initially. Angie's daughter went back to the house and brought some signs that we had made for previous ones. But while I was walking around, I realized I didn't have a sign. Like I was like I didn't have a press badge or anything like that. I'm just walking around photographing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I wonder if they think I'm like, because these days everybody with a camera now can be suspicious. Like you're recording,
right.
You're working for the
that's
government.
That's what I was getting at. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I have to be aware of that, and, I did get one question. Actually, everybody, people here in Lincoln are really the nicest people that I think I've met as a town, as a community and stuff like that. So the one question I got was like, who are you working for? Are you working for? I said, no, I'm just taking pictures I'm taking pictures for me. I work for me. And then I ended up getting engaged in a conversation with the people, like talking about why we're there and what's going on and how do we feel about it. And like, I was very much not an impartial person in this,
right?
That I was part of this protest. I don't like what's going on in the United States now. And if my camera and posting my pictures, online and Facebook and stuff like that can make some little bit of difference, then I'm happy to do that. So I found it bringing me closer to people, and for me, it felt like I could, maybe it helped me put on a persona a little bit as well, which let me get like a little bit more, I don't know. I want to say brave is not the word, but I really felt like I could just like talk to people and then say, "Can I take a picture? Do you mind if I take a picture?"
You're an empathetic documentarian, I guess, because you were on that side and you felt like you could be closer and you could get the feeling, the emotional timbre of what's going on.
Right, and I can resonate.
That's what I get from the pictures that you posted. Like there was a lot of, like the No Kings, there was a lot of mocking going on, with your inflatable suits and things like that. This one was felt like more like enough is enough. It was people are friendly, but the message was much stronger. And I think more stark. I think that your processing or the way you're black and white, it just seemed flatter. And I mean that in a good way. Like there's an energy coming from them, a more serious energy coming from them than from the No Kings pictures that you posted before.
Yeah, and I know we've like on this show not been. I mean, people could probably guess our politics in some way, just from, or at least maybe mine. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, it's not my country or whatever, but my country is being affected by what's going on. But I mean, if we want to just stick to the aspects of your photography, just stand by what I just said. But I also think above and beyond that, in a past politics, you are documenting history in your part of the country, which I think is a rare and important thing, irrespective of what side you're on.
Right.
Like this is what's happening in Lincoln, and I can imagine in the future, we're looking through some archives and, oh, look, here's Antonio's pictures of the protest that went on in January 2025. Like there's a
Right.
feeling like you're actually getting something. You're, recording the times.
And I've tried that a while back. I've tried that, impartial, recording of like photojournalism, stuff like that. And I realized that was never for me. I just could never be impartial or removed. And so I never pursued that because I didn't like that aspect of it. I see there's a benefit to it because, one can then record what they see without getting personally involved. And yet there are so many photographers who you hear about who are journalists who do get involved and who do take a stand and who are part of this, and or whatever cause they're photographing at the time, and there is no, at a certain point once humanity and your conscience has to kick in and say, I can't just stay back and, and not do anything. And I don't think what I was doing was, it felt like I was part of this, and I have to record from the inside out, rather than from the outside in. I think people could feel that, if you're from the outside in, then
you're
people are going to respond.
Kind of a thieving energy,
Yeah,
which I think people can discern.
Yeah, and it's funny being street photographers, both of us, like that's kind of what we do when we are doing street photography. I mean, I want to say thieving,
No, but I mean, on the other side, like,
yeah.
I don't want to, I don't want to be in the way energy in that. And then there's the, I'm documenting you bad guys kind of energy. And guys like you and I can see that. But I just want to step back a little bit. We were talking about, the objectivity. I mean, I've heard time and time again, the photojournalists who come back and say, how do you document that and not be affected? And that's what I'm thinking, as you're talking here, like this is your experience of life in your country. I mean, you're a part of it. And so you, in a way, thankful, and I'm thankful that you are documenting this so that we all know what went on, and what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, like, where I will go further on this. Is it just going to be protests? Will I bring my camera if ICE agents come to this city and start doing these things? And would I be part of would I want to be part of the people going around and documenting them? And I feel like that's what I can do for this thing that's going on, that I don't like what's going on in our country. And I think it's, I think it's crazy, and I think it's damaging, and I think it's awful. And I can bring my documentation to the scene. And I'm not one of these brave guys. Like, I don't want to run in front of some guy with a gun and, like antagonize him with my camera, because I don't want my camera smashed or anything like that. But I don't think I can sit still anymore. Like, I don't think I can let things go. And if I can add my camera and my eye to the least part of it would be history and documentation to what's going on. And maybe even that would have some help when this whole thing hopefully will end at some point. And, but anyway, again, that's not coming from these pictures. These pictures are just the starting point of something, but it got me thinking about this. And, I was thinking about, when you were just talking before, like how people are affected by it. Think about that photographer, Kevin Carter, who took his own life after, not soon, that much later after he took that photograph of that starving child, remember?
Oh, yeah.
The child with the vulture behind.
Yeah, in the back, yeah.
And to me, that is someone who's, I mean, he didn't get involved in that picture. And I think there's a lot of controversy about like, why didn't he get up and help the kid and all this stuff. And again, we don't know the story behind the picture, or maybe we do. And that wasn't part of his role, but it did take a toll on him. And that might've been the last straw. Not that I say I'm in even the remotest category near someone like him or anybody else who does that important work. But I think what I was doing was important, and I did post the pictures to my Facebook page, and someone I know reposted it and said, these are important photographs.
I feel the same. I mean, I look at it not just from a documentary and kind of documenting history point of view, but also you're kind of a rare bird there where you are in that particular part of the country. I don't know how many journalists or citizen, street photographers are actually working. I mean, I don't know if you got a sense of that in the time you've been there, how many people are sort of at your level around there. I can't imagine there are too many.
I haven't seen many, so,
yeah.
And even some of the work I've seen in the newspapers didn't quite, I mean, it's fine. I'm not making any kind of judgments about it, but
yeah,
it didn't seem to be at any level more than just like documentation. But of course, I'm just touching the surface here. Like I've only been here 7 months. So,
yeah.
But it's interesting because I started off my photography wanting to be a photojournalist, and that's what I really wanted to do. And then I realized like I couldn't be that person, like, who could be removed from the world. And it's funny to make a full circle. And it's circumstance, like if let's just say if the world was different, if somebody else had won the election here, or we were in a different, an alternate universe, I probably would not be doing this because these things wouldn't be happening. But that's not the world I'm in right now. The world I'm in is this one, and what I can do, I have to be part of this,
Yeah, and you're finding meaning in it. I mean, it seems these sorts of historical events and times really push you in that direction. Like you feel compelled. Yeah.
And I have the skill, I mean, part of it
is
is
what
like,
I'm saying too about how many of you guys are there in that part of the country. I mean, that's your gold, I think, there, that you're documenting that corner of the universe there.
Yeah. So expect to see more of this, I think, when it comes up and when I'm able to do that. And maybe when I get my drone license, I'll be doing aerials of these things.
Yeah.
Although you got to file a special thing to fly over people, blah, 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 but that's a whole other thing. I what it did for me personally, though, was like putting on the accoutrements of a photographer. It opened a door, or it allowed me to be a little bit more, I don't know, less, why can't I come up with the words? I don't have my words tonight. Less inhibited. Is that the right thing? Am I saying that right? Yeah, less inhibited.
And I think that it's like anything else. The more you do it, the more street smarts you'll have. What your gut will tell you. If the atmosphere, the tone of a protest change or a scenario changes, you'll feel that and act accordingly to the best of your ability.
Yeah,
I mean, I can imagine this. Yeah.
I suppose that will be the case. And even just to give me a little more confidence in terms of like not being on the edge and being the wallflower and, being the fly on the wall, taking pictures while things happen, like getting in the middle of things. And that's why I kind of feel like I'm going through a second life a little bit. It's like, I'm just getting this second chance to do this thing now for maybe something that I care about. And, I would like to use that as sort of a lesson for everybody. I mean, like, to find the kind of thing, like you're
Well, I've always said for years, since Mark and I started in 2014, 2015, working together downtown, like I have these impulses to do photography, but I never had a cause. Like I see these people, these artists and journalists and photojournalists, and they have this, they're so passionate about what they're doing. And I felt like I never had that, like, I mean, even what, this book is as close as I think I've ever been.
Yeah.
It's not really a cause. Well, the cause is art, is to create objects.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Well, can I just say to you about your journey with this book that I'm not going to say I'm jealous. I'm going to say I'm envious. Jealousy is like, I want it, but I don't want you to have it. Right.
Right.
Envious is I want it too. And when I saw you do this, when I saw you complete this book and the way you just went from boom, 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 like start, beginning, done, and you got it. It felt like a cause. Like, it's funny that you say that. Like, that's what it was. The cause was art, and you did it, and you've got it, and like now you've crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
And I want that too. And I think maybe what I'm doing is, or the opportunities I'm starting to find for myself here, is leading towards that. I can really get the sense that I'm leading towards my version of whatever the cause is, whether it's for art's sake, and you can have multiple causes, right? It's not like you're stuck to one. So I think that's a driving force for us as photographers, and I think we need that. Otherwise, we could just be going out and shooting randomly, and that's nothing wrong with that. But I don't think it's as fulfilling as having the goal of something, Yeah. So I want to advocate that for anybody who's listening. It's like, I don't know what the cause is, and I don't know what you want to find. I mean, even if it's like when you were doing your family, when you were photographing the women in your life. Remember what was the
the three different women, my mother, my friend, and who was the other one? My aunt who had died a few weeks later.
Yeah. I mean, it's I wouldn't call it a project necessarily. I mean, it ends up being a project, but I think it's a project is a subset of this idea of having this this passionate thing you want to do, and how you can use your skills to go at it. Anyway, I'm sort of,
and also when you have the impulse, act on it. Like, it's sort of like those regrets. You never regret you always regret the things you don't do. So if you feel like you want to go out and do something, and you have this sensation that you really should be something that you should do, and even if it comes off terribly or bombs or whatever, doesn't matter. You tried and you learn. And it's like the one lesson I learned from photography that I don't seem to be able to put anywhere else in my life is, this didn't work. It's not the end of the world. We move on. What do I like about this? What don't I like about this? And then after a while, the years go by, and you've got all of this wisdom and technical, you call it technical, whatever, impulses that are, put you in a narrow direction that helps with your creativity or your point of view or whatever it is. And you just, you do it. And the meaning comes out of that if you pay attention to that. But you have to have, if you want to do something, plan for it and go do it. Like, whether it's getting that little camera that you think is inadequate and going out and shooting in the street and being nervous about it, find a friend, go out, go do some street photography, find somebody, right up to, putting some money together to take a trip to Japan and exploring that and doing all that. That's all part of the same thing. It's just chasing after this passion, this whatever you want to call it, this cause. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, should we end it there, my friend?
We should end it there. I like that.
Okay.
We're good. I'm glad you were on an upbeat note there, and You weren't sounding preachy, were you?
I have no idea.
No.
I don't
No,
know.
you didn't. No. And if we keep repeating this over and over again once in a while, it's because I think we really mean it. And like for me, like I said, I'm kind of relearning a lot of stuff. So, I guess sort of the idea of this show too is people get to see our journeys, and and we get to share them, which I love doing.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do that. And I mean, should I share the settings on the camera? Whatever you want to know, I can tell you.
Yeah.
I don't have any secrets because I don't really know what I'm doing until I get in it. And then it's all a lot of intuition. And that's what I kind of pray for everyone to have, is that kind of being in the zone when you're shooting, being in the zone when you're editing, just so many stages of photography that are compelling. And some aspects might interest you more than the others, but I love the whole thing. So.
Yeah. Maybe we should do a zine class. Teach people how to put the zine together.
Okay, can I do another zine first before we?
Well, we've done.
This is my first one.
You've done one. I've done 3, and then we did one together.
Okay.
Come on, we got enough skills.
All right.
We'll give a discount to people. All right. Anyway, cool, wonderful. This was great spending this New Year's with you. So I'm very happy.
I am happy to do it too.
Thank you. So in the world of the outside places, where do we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky and Vero on at WRosinPhoto. Instagram, you could find me at @WardRosinFineArt. That's where I put the lion's share of my stuff. And I also kind of mirror it a little bit on Facebook at WardRosinPhoto. And my website with my new zine called Gaijin is rosin.ca, rosin.ca. And you, Mr. Antonio, where can we find you on the internet?
Me, I'm at Blue Sky at AM Rosario. Instagram, AM Rosario Photo. And I am starting to put more pictures up there. I'm being very selective, so it's nice. And my website is amrosario.com. I also put a lion's share of my stuff on Facebook, so it's Rosario Photo, facebook.com Rosario Photo. Oh, on my website, I am putting small little groupings of pictures as like mini projects or passions, if we call them that, I call them journeys. So they're I wouldn't call them part of my portfolio, but they are in a way. So anyway, you can see my latest work generally at amrosario.com. Do please subscribe to our Substack newsletter at streetshots.substack.com. That is the place that I got a lot of passion about. So we're a little behind on articles, but it's the first of the year, so we'll catch up. But please subscribe to us there. And if you've already subscribed, tell your friends about it. Like, we want to build up our subscriber base there. I have a feeling that we'll be doing some special things there this year. I just don't know what yet. But I want to use Substack for all the good that it's got. And anyway, if you want to support the show and become an honorary producer, honorary producer, you can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Antonio Rosario. And that's it. We've got another one in the can. We're 246. We're going to come up to 250 in 4 more episodes. 250, man. So
what's that called? The sesquicentennial?
Is it? Is there a name for it?
Yeah, there's the 250th. Anyway, whatever, we'll figure it out.
Well, this year is also the 250th anniversary of the United States. Oh boy, don't get me started with that. But they won't be at the same time, I don't think. But anyway, we'll be close. Thank you for joining me tonight, Ward. Always
a pleasure, my friend.
It is always a pleasure, and I'm grateful that you're able to spend the time with me. And my lady friend is also happy that we spend the time together. Sorry.
Okay. I don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Well, no, I'm happy to do it, and I think our relationship and the podcast has helped inspire me and kept me going in photography these last few years too. It made things like this zine possible. I don't know that it necessarily would have been without it. So I owe you a debt of gratitude as well. Okay, great. Well, I will take you up on that debt someday. Okay.
All right, I gotta stop joking. All right, man. Have a good night, and for everybody, we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And good night to you, my friend.
We'll see you. Good night.